Hey, everybody. Welcome here. I'm so glad that you can join us for our On the Spot today. It's great. I've got someone in that I am so excited to introduce you to, and it is Brett Jansen. Now, why don't you say hi, Brett?
Hey guys.
If you haven't noticed, Brett is on stage all the time, and he's honestly one of the coolest guys I know, and he's really gifted. And I just really like to introduce you to him. And I'm going to start off with some basic questions that we ask, all our guests and people that we bring in. What was the last book you ever read?
The last book I read and finished is a sci-fi novel called Pilot X.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Sci-fi. All right. I like
Yeah.
how you put that in there, the last book you read and finished, because there's a lot of books I've
Yes.
tried to start reading and didn't finish. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, from books, what's your favorite movie of all time?
That's a hard question. But in general, I love sci-fi.
Okay.
So a movie like Interstellar is
Okay.
pretty high up there.
Are you like a Star Wars or Star Trek guy?
I didn't really grow up with either, to be honest,
Oh,
for
that's
some
okay.
reason.
That's okay. That's okay. So Interstellar's your thing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, that's good. If you had a choice of reading a book or watching a movie, which would you choose?
I would watch a movie.
Just chill back. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, sci-fi is your thing, but what about superheroes? If you could choose to be one superhero from the superhero universe, which one would it be and why?
Yeah, I also didn't really grow up with superheroes for some reason.
Okay.
But if I had to pick, for me personally, it would probably be someone like the Flash or
Okay.
anyone that can teleport, just because I love traveling and I love the world. So it'd be
Okay.
more for me than saving the world. But
Yeah. Well, I like that. No, no. But the teleport aspect, that's actually an interesting aspect, not that not a lot of people think about. But that's cool. You can travel and be places, that's pretty
yeah,
good. I like that. All right.
yeah. Right now I'm watching a show called The Umbrella Academy on Netflix,
Oh
and
yeah.
kind of like an X-Men sort of thing, like a group of
Okay.
people with powers, and one of them can teleport and jump through time. So
Cool. That's
he's my
awesome.
favorite.
Well, that's great. Awesome. Now, Brett, you got married a few years ago to Stephanie, and
Yeah.
I was wondering, what was your first date like, and how did it go?
My first date. There's this Chinese garden in Vancouver, and I was looking up pictures of it and stuff, and I thought it looked really nice, and so I asked Stephanie out on our first date, and I basically like I made these like homemade tickets, and I put the name of the garden on there. It was like one date with Brett and stuff like that, and so we picked a time and we went all the way out there from North Van, and I didn't even look up the place. I didn't look up times that they're open or anything, and it was closed. And I think it was like February or something. So I don't even know why I thought a garden would really be like open at that time of the year, like an outdoor garden. And
Well,
so we ended up going over to the Science World area, and we just kind of walked around, and it was freezing cold.
that is awesome. Like A for effort, A for the idea.
Yeah.
People listening to this, write that down. It's a great idea, but to check the garden, make sure it's open. But
Yeah.
obviously, Brett, it worked, right? Like you got a second
Yes.
date out of the deal.
Yeah. It did work.
There you go, and eventually married. Well, that's great, and congratulations on that. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Now, Brett, you and I have known each other a long time. You've been coming to Willingdon for a long time. How long have you been at Willingdon Church? And I remember you in youth group and junior high. For me, it doesn't seem that long ago, but it was a while ago. What was your favorite junior high memory?
So I've been at Willingdon my whole life, so 30 years. Honestly, my favorite memories were all the music related ones. Yeah, it's just coming to practices, playing music, setting up gear. Those are all my favorite memories.
Well, you were a great musician even back in junior high, and learning your instrument and playing with pretty well good precision even then, and that's only gotten better over the years. And that goes into our next question of your work. Now you work at Willingdon Church, but like, what's your title and kind of what do you do?
At Willingdon, my title is music director,
Okay.
and so the way that things work at Willingdon is that we have a worship leader and a music director, and so those two positions they work really closely together. The worship leader is the one that plans the songs, looking at sermon series, topics, stuff like that. And then they're the one that actually sings at the front and leads a congregation. Then the music director, which is my role, is someone who plans like scheduling the band, makes chord charts, runs the rehearsal, and pretty much just molds all the music and puts it together.
Okay, cool. Now, I've had a wonderful opportunity in the last while just to play with you a few times. You know, sometimes they scrape the bottom of the barrel for musicians, and I get a chance to get up there. And I've always appreciated being on stage with you, Brett. And you even like sometimes you're playing, you have a microphone, but you're not singing to the congregation. You're actually directing the band sometimes and telling us
Yeah,
when to go to the chorus, when to go to the bridge, and it's so helpful when we're playing it. And so you really, when you say music director, you're actually directing behind the scenes, even while it's live on stage. You're still
yeah,
directing the band, and I think that's really really cool. So
yeah, for sure.
when did you know that music would be a big part of your life?
I knew pretty young. Uh, my love for music kind of really started, I think, with my collection of CDs.
Mm.
I have probably over 1,000 physical CDs,
Wow.
and yeah, so just from when I was young, I don't know, like 10 years old or something, just starting to get my first CDs, which ranged from NSYNC to Christian heavy metal bands, and just like a wide range of stuff, and I just thought it was the coolest thing.
Okay. Now, I just want to say for those listening, a CD is what we used to put our music on that we would listen to and put it in and have to play. We didn't have it on our iPhones and iPods. No, I know, you know what CDs are, but that is cool. That is an extensive collection if you have 1,000 CDs. That's
Yeah,
amazing. And that's cool that you knew that music would be a big part of your life when you were young. And I know that you write your own music, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of music is it? Is it like Christian metal?
Um, it's not, although I do listen to a lot of really heavy music.
Yeah.
I write a range of stuff. Mostly, it's kind of in two categories. I do like alternative singer songwriter rock kind of music,
Yeah.
and then the other side is like cinematic, movie score kind of stuff.
Oh, interesting. Like, yeah, like symphony type or like pads or different things in the background of movies.
Yeah, yeah, stuff that you would hear in movies.
Well,
Yeah,
I've heard you sing and play a lot at church. Obviously, church music is a big part of your life too, and then also your alternative stuff. I've heard a little bit, just from a little bit, but I'd love to hear more of it because I think you're very gifted and I think it's awesome stuff. I love your guitar playing and I love your singing, but you also play like drums and bass and keyboard and all sorts of things. You're actually
yeah,
a professional musician, is what I call you, because in your job at the church, that is what you do. You're a musician and you make a living from it. You're a
yep,
professional musician, and I think that is a really cool thing to be. I think it's awesome.
yeah,
Now, do you
yeah. Me
do
too.
you listen out of those 1,000 CDs and all the music you listen to? Do you always listen to Christian music?
I actually majority of the music I listen to is not Christian or not church music.
Mhm.
I distinguish between church music and Christian music a little bit. Church music being, the stuff that we would actually do like on a Sunday morning in services. And then there is a lot of music that is from Christian musicians, Christian artists, that isn't the type of stuff that we would do in church. Um, but yeah, I do listen to, I listen to everything.
And like, there's people who are in the mainstream music industry who are Christians, like back in the day, Switchfoot or Lifehouse, or they were
Hmm.
awesome musicians, or music was out there, but they happened to be Christians. It
Yeah,
wasn't classified necessarily as, oh, it was Christian rock. It was music that was on the radio. So yeah, there's always a mix of that. And
yeah.
and I think God did create music, and music impacts us. It's powerful, and there's different types of music. That's for sure. How does
Mhm.
music impact your faith in Jesus, or does it impact it?
Yeah, yeah. So music for me is it's a tool for worship and personal expression. Music for me, whether I'm doing it in church on Sunday morning on stage, or whether I'm making my own music or whatever it is, it's always a way to express worshipful gratitude to God and to use my gifts to glorify Him.
That's awesome, Brett. That's fantastic. And And I just, want to ask you if you have any advice, because we have some students who are interested in music and it impacts them. Some of them maybe even haven't started learning their instruments yet, and others are way down the road and already doing really well. But what advice can you give to a junior high student who might want to start to write their own music or get involved in a worship team?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're someone who doesn't play an instrument yet, Long McQuaid and Tom Lee, the two main music stores, are just great places to go, and you're allowed to pick up some of the instruments and try them out. So I encourage you to just explore different options and see which instruments you connect with. And then after that, I would suggest two things. Listening to a lot of music, just listen, even listen to music that you don't like. That's something that I always say, listen to music you don't like that you know is really popular, and figure out what it is that makes it popular. Appreciate it, analyze it, and then the other thing is use YouTube. YouTube is great for a lot of things. So once you've kind of picked an instrument and you're getting on your way, just look up tutorials and lessons online, stuff like that. It's a great way to learn. If you're looking to get involved in a church worship team, then just don't be afraid to just go find someone who was in the band on any given weekend and just introduce yourself and say, hey, my name is so-and-so and I'm learning this instrument. How can I get involved? And whoever it is that you happen to walk up to, they would love to hear from you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Brett, for taking this time out and just hanging with us. It has always honestly been a privilege and an honor to play with you and to be a part of bands with you, to worship together with you and lead people in worship. I really appreciate all you do at our church and also for who you are. I just think you're a great man, and I appreciate you being here. I know that our students can go and give you a high five after service sometime. And yeah, talk to Brett if you're interested in music. We've also obviously had worship teams and youth group and things you can get in touch with and start that process of learning and going. And I'm just excited that God gives so many talents to people. Sometimes it's sports, sometimes it's art, and sometimes, it's music. It can be so many different things, and we can use all of it to glorify God. And that's the coolest thing ever. So thank you so much, Brett, for coming here as a professional musician and just sharing a little bit with us. Maybe we'll have you back again sometime, all right?
Yeah, awesome.
Perfect. Thanks, Brett.
Thanks.
Talk to you later.